Assalamu alaikum. So yesterday we looked at different terminologies related to signal like cycle length, intervals, phases, and effective green time, saturation headway, saturation flow rate. Today we are going to use these terms and use these concepts to calculate the capacity of the signals. And I will start with an example. Okay. So we have this example that for a particular movement on a signal, for one movement, okay, for one movement of a signal, these are the characteristics which are given. So, sorry, the signal has a cycle length of 60 seconds. So, cycle length meaning time to complete all the indications, right? The green time for that movement is 27 seconds. Yellow plus all red time for that movement again is 4 seconds. Saturation headway is 2.4 seconds per vehicle. Startup loss time L1 2 seconds, and clearance loss time L2 is 2 seconds. So saturation headway, I told you, is the minimum headway which you have achieved when the flow is continuous and stable. Startup loss time is the initial the extra headway taken by the first 3 or 4 vehicles in the queue, and clearance loss time is part of the all red which you are giving as a measure of safety for the vehicles to clear the intersection before you start another green time. So let us look at how we can calculate the capacity of this movement. Okay, I'm looking to calculate the capacity of this movement. Now keep one thing in mind. Yeah, it is for movement, and I will show you two approaches. I will show you two approaches for calculating the capacity. Let me start with approach 1. So in approach 1, I will use the saturation headway and saturation flow rate. Okay. Saturation headway is given. Saturation flow rate is calculated as an inverse of the saturation headway. How much is this? How much is this?
1,500.
1,500 vehicles per hour. Okay. Then now I told you earlier you can achieve saturation flow rate in an hour if the signal remains green for 1 hour. Green for 1 hour. It is not possible. We have lost time and we have red time and so many things. So you can achieve a portion of this saturation value. The actual capacity of the movement will be a portion of this saturation headway. How much portion? The same portion which is available for effective green from the cycle length. You will achieve a portion of the saturation flow rate as a capacity, and that is the portion of the cycle length which is effective green. Okay, so effective green is calculated as actual green time plus capital Y, which is yellow and all red, minus lost time of the phase. Okay, so green time is given 27 seconds, yellow plus all red is given 4 seconds, and total lost time means L1 plus L2, which is 2 plus 2, right? Yeah, I have reversed it. Just to make sure that we don't get into any confusion. Okay, so in this example, yellow and all red and the lost times are equal. So effective green is equal to actual green in this example. Okay, in some other example it can be different as well. This is just by coincidence. Okay, so this is the effective green time. Okay. So I told you that you will achieve a portion of saturation flow rate as a capacity, and that portion is equal to the portion of cycle length which is effective green. So how much of the cycle length is effective green? Tell me. Cycle length is 60 seconds and effective green is 27. So how much is this?
0.45.
0.45. So capacity, which is represented with small c, okay? So keep the difference in mind. Capital C cycle length, small c capacity. So small c will be equal to saturation flow rate to the proportion of G by C ratio, which is 1500 into 0.45. How much?
675.
675 vehicles per hour per lane. Now keep one thing in mind, all these values are by default per lane. Capacity and saturation flow rate, they are by default per lane. Okay, now I will show you another approach for the same problem. I will call it approach 2. I don't need saturation flow rate for this one. I need effective green time, which I have calculated. Okay. Now I will calculate total effective green time in the hour. I have 27 seconds of green time in 1 cycle. I have 27 seconds of green time in 1 cycle. So first of all, I will calculate how many cycles I have in 1 hour. I have 60 seconds of cycle length, and in 1 hour I have 3600 seconds, right? So how many cycles I can have in 1 hour? 60, right? In 1 cycle, I had 27 seconds of effective green. So in 60 cycles, how much effective green will I have? Let me call it total effective green. And it will be 60 number of cycles into 27. How much?
1620.
Now, what happens during effective green time? During effective green time, vehicles move at an interval of saturation headway. Saturation headway is given as 2.4 seconds per vehicle, right? 2.4 seconds per vehicle. So during 16-20 seconds, the interval between the vehicles is 2.4 seconds. Okay. During 16-20 seconds of the hour, the vehicles are moving at an interval of 16-20 seconds. So in 16-20 seconds, how many vehicles can move at an interval of 2.4 seconds? This is what I'm trying to tell you. This will be the capacity, right? This will be the capacity. So capacity is, again, a small c, the total effective green time you have, and the interval at which vehicles are moving during this time, which is 2.4 seconds. So how much is this?
675.
675, and it should be 675 because it was a value from the first approach as well. Okay, so the value should be the same, but these are two different approaches. In the first approach, I calculated the saturation for it, and then I multiplied with the ratio of or the proportion of effective green of the cycle length. And the second approach, I have calculated the total effective green time of the hour and divided with the saturation flow rate, because during effective green time, the vehicles move at saturation headway. Okay, so in both the cases, you should be getting the same value. Okay, moving on. If you have any questions, you can because I will keep on doing these calculations. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Now the concepts which I have used in this example, they will be used in the equations that I'm going to show you afterwards. Okay, that's the same concepts. Many of these things will be used in the equation of delay and capacity and so on. Okay. Now let us look at, or let us try to develop an equation for intersection capacity. Capacity of the entire intersection. The previous example was only for one approach, one movement of the intersection. So first of all, I will calculate total lost time of the cycle, capital L. Capital L equals N into TL, where N is the number of phases and TL is the lost time per phase, L1 plus L2. Lost time per phase multiplied by number of phases, it will give you lost time in the cycle. Then I will calculate the lost time in 1 hour. Lost time in 1 hour. So I will take L, capital L, which is the lost time in 1 cycle, and then I'm multiplying with this ratio. What will this ratio give me? I have just done it in the previous example as well. 3600 upon capital C. C is the cycle length. So 3600 upon C will give me what? Huh? 3600 upon cycle length gives me what? I just did it in the last example, just now. Anyone? 3600 is the total time of the hour, and you are dividing with the time of one cycle. What will it give you? Huh?
60.
Sorry?
60.
60. 60 is a number. I'm asking, you can change the cycle length, it will give you something else. Okay, 60 was only for that example. Okay, but I'm asking you, what did I calculate? What was 60? You are telling me the value. I'm asking you, what is it? 60 is what?
Number of cycles per hour.
Number of cycles per hour. Yes. Okay, so 60 is not fixed. Okay, yeah, I will give you a different value of C. You will get a number different from 60. Okay, don't bother with 60. Okay, so this is number of cycles in 1 hour. Okay, so lost time in one cycle multiplied by number of cycles in 1 hour gives you lost time of the hour. Lost time of the hour. Okay, then you subtract 3600 minus lost time of the hour to get total effective green time in the hour. Total effective green time in the hour. Okay, 3600 minus LH. 3600 total time of the hour minus LH, which is the total lost time in the hour. So whatever is remaining is lost time of the effective green time of the hour. Okay, during effective green time, the vehicles move at saturation headway. So if you divide TG with saturation headway, it will give you the maximum volume for that intersection. Like we did in the previous example, we did it for one approach. Now they are doing it for the entire intersection. Okay, so VC is the maximum volume you can have passing from the intersection from all approaches, for all movements. Okay, so you have TG, total effective green time, divided by saturation headway. Now in this equation, I have the equation for TG, right? TG can be replaced with this value. Okay, and then LH can be replaced with this ratio, and then L can be replaced with this factor. So after replacing everything I can, replacing TG, then LH, then L, the final equation is this one. This is the final equation for VC. So I took the equation of VC from the last slide, TG upon H. Then I put the value of TG and LH and L. So this is the final equation. Okay. So in this final equation, just let us review. What is H here? What is H?
Saturated headway.
Saturation headway. Okay. What is N? What is N here? N? N is number of what?
Number of phases.
Number of phases. Good. What is TL?
Lost time.
Lost time per phase. Okay. And what is capital C?
The cycle length.
Cycle length. Yes. Okay. So now you can see in the graph below, the change in VC is given with respect to changes in N and C. N and C. Okay. Number of phases and cycle length. So you have VC on the y-axis, C on the x-axis, cycle length, and for each N value, I have plotted a different, or they have plotted a different curve here. Okay. So you can see when N is less, VC is higher. When N is less, VC is higher. Why? You can see in the equation here, because N is a negative term, right? So when you decrease the negative term, the answer will be higher. And what is the logic behind it? The logic is that when you have less number of phases, lost time is decreasing also, because with each phase, you are increasing the lost time. Whenever a new phase starts and ends, we have a lost time. So with less phases, we have less lost time. That means more capacity. Okay. And then you can see the trend according to C as well. When you increase the cycle length, BC increases. Increase the cycle length, BC increases. Okay. You can see it in the equation as well. You are dividing the negative term with cycle length. Okay. So you are when more cycle length means lower negative term, that means higher BC. Okay. And so this is why this is mathematically how it is decreasing. And if you look at the logic is with more cycle length, you are giving more time for each phase. You are giving more time for each movement. So obviously you will have higher capacity. Now that means we should always look to decrease number of phases, and we should always look to increase the cycle length. To have more VC, to have higher volume passing through the intersection, always try to decrease the number of phases and always try to increase the cycle length. Okay, now there are two issues, one with number of phases, one with cycle length. The issue with number of phases is when you decrease the number of phases, you have to make the movements happen simultaneously. For example, this movement and this movement, you can do them in two phases, so number of phases will be more, or you can do them in one phase, so number of phases will be less. Number of phases will be less. What is the difference between them? If you do it in two phases, then it will be safer because each direction has its own time now. So the other direction is blocked, so it is completely safe for one direction to move. So you are increasing the number of phases and the lost time. You are decreasing capacity, but you are making it safer for the drivers. So having more phases is better for the driver in terms of safety, although you are decreasing the capacity. Okay. So number of phases are decided on the basis of safety of the drivers. Okay, so you cannot say, okay, all movements will happen in one phase and I will have only one phase. Then it will be very dangerous. Then what's the point of having the signal, right? And then the second issue with the cycle length. If you increase the cycle length, so that means you are increasing the timing for all the phases, right? When you increase the time of one phase, the movement time of one phase, you are increasing the waiting time of the other phases, right? When one phase is moving, the other phases are stopped. So when I increase the time of one phase, I'm increasing the stopping time of the other phases, the waiting time of the other phases. Okay. More cycle length means you are increasing the time for almost all the phases. So that means you are increasing the waiting time for all the phases as well. Okay. Now, when the waiting time increases, it is inconvenient for the drivers. They become frustrated and so on. Okay. And sometimes it happens. You must have observed that you have a signal which has a long cycle length and has a long queue as well. Okay, so you see that, okay, this signal will take at least 10 minutes from me because it will take 2 minutes to open, and then when it goes, I will maybe reach 100 feet forward, and then it will stop again for next 2 minutes. So with this queue, it will take me 10 minutes. Okay, so you become frustrated, and it is less convenient for you, and so on and so forth. If you have another signal for which you know, even if I'm stuck in a queue, this signal opens after every minute. So every minute I will move forward few hundred feet or few feet. Okay, so you will become less frustrated because you know you are moving. After every few seconds you are moving. Okay, so higher waiting time, which is the result of higher cycle length, is basically stressful and inconvenient for the drivers. Okay. So this is where you have to, find out an optimum number of phases and optimum cycle length, which can be convenient and safe for the drivers. Okay. Now, if you take this equation, and take C on the left hand side and everything else on the right hand side, then you will get the equation for minimum cycle length here. This is the equation for minimum cycle length. What did I do? The equation for VC, I have rearranged it so that C is on left hand side, everything is on the right hand side. So this is the equation for minimum cycle length. And this equation, we are using VC. VC is volume. If you go back to the previous chapter or any chapter before that, we don't prefer to use volume, we prefer to use flow rate, because volume has fluctuation within the hour as well. So we prefer to use maximum flow rate so that we cover the fluctuation within the hour as well. And I showed you in, I think, lecture 3, if you don't cover this sub-hourly fluctuation, you will have a Q, even if you design it for the correct volume. Okay, so we design it always for the flow rate. So to convert the volume into flow rate, meaning VC into flow rate, I must divide VC with PHF. PHF is what? What is
Peak hour
PHF?
factor.
Peak hour factor, yes. So I must divide VC, the volume, with peak hour factor to convert volume to flow rate. Okay, one thing. This is one thing we do. Second thing is divide volume with V by C ratio as well. What is V by C ratio? V means volume and C means capacity. V means volume, C means capacity. So V by C ratio means existing volume to capacity ratio. Volume of the highway, volume of the intersection to the capacity of the intersection, this ratio. Now, if this ratio is more than 1, that means volume is more than capacity, which means traffic jam, queue, failure, so on and so forth. Volume should not be more than the capacity, right? Volume should be less than the capacity. So this ratio can be 1 or less than 1. 1 means volume is equal to capacity. 1 means volume is equal to capacity, which is also not good. Okay, because if volume is exactly equal to capacity, so if you had made any error in calculating or observing the volume, then you don't have any margin of safety now. You design the cycle length so that capacity of the intersection is exactly equal to the actual volume. So now you don't have any margin of safety. Okay, in the peak hour, volume should be either equal to the capacity or it will be more than the capacity. You do not keep any margin of safety. There is no factor of safety. Okay, so any error in predicting the volume when you were designing the cycle length, or any error in observing the volume when you were designing the cycle length, will result in volume going over the capacity actually in the field when the signal is operational. Okay, so V by C ratio should not be 1 as well. It should be less than 1. Okay. Like you do for structural design, right? You have factors of safety, right? In structural design, you have factors of safety. Use it for steel design, concrete design. So V by C ratio is basically our factor of safety. Okay, and this should be less than 1. Okay, the range is given. It can be between 0.8 to 0.95. 0.8 to 0.95. So a V by C ratio of let's say 0.9. 0.9 means what? Volume is 90% of capacity. We are designing a cycle length, so by expecting that the volume in the peak hour will be 90% of the capacity. Okay, so I'm keeping what? A 10% margin of safety, a 10% factor of safety. So even if the volume, actual volume increases by 10%, it will still not go above capacity. Okay, so this is why VC should also be divided by V by C ratio. Okay, and you will select the V by C ratio. You will select the V by C ratio. So volume is divided by peak hour factor to convert to flow rate, and it is divided by V by C ratio to have a margin of safety. Okay, so after dividing V by C with these two values, the cycle length which we will get will be called as a desirable cycle length. C desirable, the one which we prefer. The first equation gives you minimum, which is for the which is without any factor, but the second one gives you C desirable, which is including flow rate and factor of safety. Okay, so for the design we always use the second equation. Let us look at a couple of examples here. This is the first one. We have a 3-phase signal, 4 seconds per phase loss time, 2.2 seconds per vehicle saturation headway. Peak hour factor is given, VC is given. Find out the desirable cycle length using different V by C ratios, and the range is given. Use a ratio between 0.8 from 0.8 to 1. Okay, so desirable cycle length means this equation. Let me put it over here. And I will write down the data as well. 3 seconds, so N is 3. Sorry, 3 phases means N is 3. Loss time per phase, 4 seconds per phase. Saturation headway, 2.2 seconds per vehicle. Peak hour factor, and VC is 1200. Okay. So give me the value of desirable cycle length. Oh, sorry, V by C ratio. Yeah, they said use V by C ratio in the range. So V by C ratio, I will use these values from the range. V by C, sorry, 0.8. Okay, I will use these values from the range. So you will put V by C ratio 0.8, then 0.85, then 0.9, and so on. So you will have different C desirable values. Okay, you will have 5 values for C desirable.
Minus 648.
Minus
648.
618.
448.
418.
No, no, doctor. 648.
648.
Yes.
Okay, this one.
289.
Okay, next one.
127.
127. Next
8
one. How much? 8.
4.
8. Okay, last one.
65.
Okay, now you can see first of all, when I increase V by C ratio, cycle length decreases. When I increase V by C ratio, cycle length decreases. What is the reason? The reason is less V by C ratio means less margin of safety. Okay, you are decreasing the factor of safety, meaning you are underestimating the load. Okay, when you don't have factor of safety, that means no margin of safety, that means you are underestimating the load. So when you decrease the V by C ratio, you are underestimating the traffic load, basically the load of traffic. Okay, so if you are underestimating, then you need less cycle length. Okay, secondly, you can see here that one of the values is negative. Now negative doesn't mean that you can ignore the minus sign and just take the value. So you cannot take 648 as the cycle length because it's a negative value. So negative means you just cancel it. This one cannot be used at all. So V by C ratio of 0.8 does not give me a possible value. V by C ratio of 0.8 does not give me a possible value. Okay, so look for the other values. Okay, let us look at another example now. So we have this configuration. Intersection is given, possible cycle length, lost time for each phase, 2 phases, peak hour factor is given, V by C ratio is fixed now, and headway, saturation headway is given. Okay, the volume in each direction which is expected is given 1800 east west, 1200 north south. They are asking me to find out the number of lanes in each direction. The number of lanes in each direction. Okay. So first of all, I will calculate how much maximum volume I can have using the given cycle length. With the given cycle length, how much maximum volume I can have. So for the maximum volume, the equation is this one. Okay, let me write down the other parameters for you as well. Cycle length 60 seconds. We have lost time for each phase 4 seconds per phase, which is given as 2.3 seconds per vehicle. 2.3, right? Yeah. Okay, what else do you need? Number of phases, 2. Okay. In addition to that, peak hour factor is given. I will not use it here, but it is given 0.9 and 0.95, and V by C ratio is fixed. Okay, first of all, tell me the VC.
Uh, 1356.5.
Okay, because okay. Now, if you look at the actual volume which is given, 1800 one direction, 1200 other direction. Total 3000, right? 1800 plus 1200, total volume is 3000. My maximum volume I can have is 1356. The actual volume I'm having is more than that. So I have to increase the number of lanes so that I have less volume from each lane. I have less volume from each lane. How is it possible? For example, in the east-west direction, we have 1800. So if I make 2 lanes in the east-west direction, from each lane 900 vehicles will pass. Okay. Total was 1800. We divide into 2 lanes, it will be 900 from each lane. So now I don't have to design a signal for 1800 vehicles. I will only design it for 900 vehicles in this direction, because the other 900 are going from the other lane simultaneously. So 900 from one lane, 900 from the other lane, going simultaneously. So my volume in east-west direction will become 900 instead of 1800. Okay, and in the east-west direction, I'm just keeping the same number of lanes, which is 1. Okay, and it will have 1200. The volume for this one will be 1200. Okay, so total will be 900 plus 1200, which is equal to 2100. Did I bring it below the maximum value? No, the maximum is 1356. It is still more than that. Okay, so I should increase more lanes now. Okay, where should I increase the lanes? Where I have more flow per lane, I will increase the lanes where I have more volume per lane. In the east-west direction, the volume is now 900. In the north-south direction, the volume is 1200. Okay, so I will increase the lane in the in the north-south direction. So now I have 2 lanes here, and I will keep 2 lanes here as well. So 2 lane means 900 in each lane here, and here it will mean 600 in each lane, right? Total was 1200 divided by 2, 600 in each lane. So total for both the directions will be 900 plus 600, which is equal to. Did I bring it less than the maximum value? No, it is still more than the maximum value. So now I will increase more lanes where I have more volume. So now the volume, you can see per lane is higher in the east-west direction, right? In the east-west direction, I have more volume. Okay, 900. So I will increase one more lane here. I'll make 3 lanes now. Total was 1800 in this direction. So 1800 divided by 3, and this direction I will keep same 2 lanes. Okay, so this direction is 600 per lane, and this direction is also now 600 per lane. 1800 divided by 3, right? Total will be 600.
1200.
Yeah, thank you. So now, is it now below the maximum value? Yes, it is. Maximum is 1356. Now the actual VC is 1200 only. Okay, so I can stop at this design that in the east-west direction I will have 3 lanes. I will have 2 lanes in the north-south direction. Okay, this is my final design. Now the next step, this is one part of the problem. The other part of the problem is, with this VC, calculate the desirable cycle length. With this VC, calculate the desirable cycle length. So you already have the equation of desirable cycle length here. Give me the value of desirable cycle length. N is 2, two phases. TL is 4, VC is 1200, H is 2.3, peak hour factor 0.95, V by C ratio 0.9. Okay, 2, 4, 1200, 2.3, 0.95 and 0.9. How much is it? Yes, tell me.
I did 77.
Sorry,
77.
7. You can tell me the fraction as well. Okay, we don't have to round off the cycle length. 77 point
0.43.
4. Okay. So a desirable cycle length of 77.4 seconds is enough with a V by C ratio of 0.9 to accommodate maximum volume or the flow rate for the volume of 1200. So this is second part of the problem, that the cycle length should be this much. Third part of the problem is now a restriction. Let's say we have a restriction that we cannot have more than 2 lanes in any direction. If we impose a restriction that we cannot have more than 2 lanes in any direction, then what will be the value of VC? Okay, so if you have 2 lanes in each direction, okay, 2 lanes in each direction, means VC will be 1500, right? I've already calculated this one. Okay, so now recalculate the value of desirable cycle length when VC is 1500. How much is it? Everything else will remain the same.
Minus 66.
Minus 66. Okay, now what did I tell you about the negative value? Negative value means not possible. With these signal parameters, having 2 lanes in each direction will not give you any signal that can be designed for this location. Okay, so either remove the restriction of the number of lanes or change some other parameter in the equation. Okay, like we have done in the previous example with the V by C ratio. Okay, change something else, but with the current parameters of the signal and with the V by C ratio of 0.9 and 2 lanes in each direction, signal design is not possible. Negative value means signal design is not possible. Okay, so I will stop here and we will continue after Eid, inshallah. If any one of you has any questions, you can ask me. Okay, I'm going for the attendance. I have the sheet for section 1.